Basically, in simplest terms, I would like to say, as the salespreneurship, as the term connotes, it's the beautiful mixture of creative salesmanship and innovative entrepreneurship. So very simple, the big word called salespreneurship can now be translated into a simple business discipline by simply combining beautifully creative salesmanship and innovative entrepreneurship. So ibig sabihin, ngayon pa lang ay yung ahente, pusong ahente, that di ba? Ang ahente laging gustong makabenta, mag-serve, pero kung may utak siyang negosyante, pwedeng tumaas yung level ng kanyang salesmanship into entrepreneurship. To upgrade the mindset and self-concept of salespeople. Ibig sabihin, marami pa rin po, at ako po guilty rito, no? Nung ako'y corporate executive, I look down on salespeople para ang tingin ko, hindi ako magiging ahente dahil nag-aral ako, nag-masters ako, corporate executive ako. So parang ang tingin ko, ang ahente, para lang dun sa mga walang mapuntang regular work, no, sa corporate level. Kaya ang goal ko talaga ngayon is to upgrade the mindset and self-concept of salespeople. Number one, selling is a very noble job. Marangal na trabaho. Ang laki ng role ng mga salespeople sa nation building, di ba? Sa society natin, kung wala yung mga salespeople, paano andar yung mga negosyo? Kaya lang, marami pa hanggang ngayon, ang mga ahente, ang tingin nila, ahente lang sila. So parang pag kinumpare mo sa doktor, pag kinumpare mo sa engineer, sa architect, sa nurse, sila ahente lang. At masaklap, even the community, di ba, looks down on salespeople, parang pag may nag-aalok sa kanila, pinagtataguan, o kaya parang, ito na naman yung ahenteng makulit. Salespreneurship, I would like to upgrade the mindset and self-concept of salespeople, and at the same time, from the outside naman, I would like to bring the selling profession into the next level. So, pwede naman talagang kung income opportunity lang, di ba? Earning opportunity, talagang yung salesperson, kung magpapaka-salespreneur siya, pwede siyang tumapat sa mga professional people like doctors, engineers, in terms of income, in terms of stature, in terms of credibility, pwede yon. Kaya yun ang goal ng salespreneurship. Sana lahat ng mga ahenteng nakikinig ngayon or makakilala nating mga ahente, tumaas yung mindset, tumaas yung self-concept, at yung selling profession na where we belong to, tumaas siya sa level ng ibang profession. That is if we know how to do selling in the right way. So we're not just selling, we are also business owners. So salespreneurship, most importantly, is a mindset. So kung yung mga tunay na negosyante nag-put up ng milyong-milyong negosyo, tinawag silang negosyante dahil napapatakbo nila, tayo na mga ahente na nagsimula sa pagbebenta, pwede nating pataasin ito in terms of how do we conduct it, how do we manage our mindset, and eventually, how do we produce results, not only in terms of sales, but in terms of managing our resources, and at the same time, in projecting ourselves talagang ka-level ng mga nasa ibang profession. Number one, it's all about the product that you would carry. So when you decide to become a salesperson, a sales agent, kahit anong tawag, salesperson muna, look at your product. Then when you have the product, doon na pasok si salesmanship and your marketing skills. How do you market the product? But of course, the one important component of salespreneurship that differentiates a salespreneur from a regular salesman falls on the third category of this triangle. No? The third cornerstone is about finance and resources management. So maraming magaling na ahente, okay naman yung product nila, ang galing naman nilang bumenta, pero bumabagsak dito sa third category na ito. Kaya, sinasabi ko kanina, ang daming ahente na after so many years, ahente pa din at talagang nakikipag-ahente pa din. At sabi ko nga, hindi sila financially free when they had all the opportunity because alam natin yung sales, yun yung talagang source of big income opportunity kung alam mong gamitin or kung meron kang finance and resource management. Create your value first. Never go into sales if you cannot create your value as a person, or if you cannot create a value for your product or service, don't go into selling. Either kikita ka lang pero walang mangyayari, mawawala ka rin. Make sure you have a very clear value before you even think about going into sales. When you are able to create your value and you are very convinced about it and you are very excited and kumbaga ready for it, that is the time you have to start accessing the right target market that needs your value. Yun yung ibang sakit ng ibang mga ahente, nagsa-shotgun approach lagi. Kaya pagod na pagod pero kulang ng results. Why not be practical? Na pag may value ka na, itapat mo lang yung value mo o yung product na may value dun sa nangangailangan ng value na yon. So ibig sabihin, sa sales ito yung tinatawag na qualifying, di ba? After prospecting, you have to go to qualified clients so that yung batting average mo will be much higher in terms of closing. So, ito yung tinatawag na you really don't have to work hard. You simply have to work smart. Go where the market needs your value. Don't do shotgun approach. Pang-ahente yon. Dapat pang salespreneur tayo. So, when you're able to identify the market that needs your value, then reinforce that access by converting it into a business already or a potential revenue. Sa sales process, ito na yung closing the sale. Ibig sabihin, when you have a client in front of you, qualified, that would need your value, dapat closing technique na yung kailangan doon. And wag kayong closing technique na nag-hard sell. Make sure you ask questions, listen to your buyer, especially yung needs niya, answer or respond to the needs that he's saying, kaya be an attentive listener, and make sure close the business when the client is there, while the iron is hot, sabi nga nung mga matatanda natin, di ba? So don't miss closing the sale when the client is ready to buy. Of course, masarap makabenta, di ba? Talagang pag narinig mo na yung kaching, di ba? Yung tunog ng komisyon, magre-rejoice ka na talaga. Okay lang yon because that's the result of our labor, no? The fruit of our labor. Pero a lot of agents na tipong ahente lang, tinitigil na nila doon kaya nagiging car lang siya. Create your value, access the right target market, reinforce the access. Dahil masaya na siya at kumomisyon na siya, tumigil na siya doon. Yung salespreneur to be durable in the business, to have staying power. Do not forget the letter E. You have to establish continuing relationships after every converted business. Make sure for every converted business, you generate new business because you've established, di ba, very good relationships. Ako, ang panuntunan ko lagi dito, di ba? For every closed business, we must open a new relationship. And while we open more new relationships, that is an opportunity to close more sales. So, even yung mga experts natin sa sales, they are always saying na 80% of their sales are coming from previous clients. So, ibig sabihin, ang hilig nating magsimula ng bagong prospects. Ibig sabihin, very cold, painitin natin hanggang sa ang haba ng process, ang gastos pa nun. Pero meron tayong mga nabentahan na, ibig sabihin, nakabuy-in na sa atin, ba't hindi tayo mag-concentrate doon? For sure, they would buy again, they would convince their relatives to buy, they would convince their friends, or they would convince the whole world to buy from you because you have a very good relationship. Kaya marami tayong mga ahente, continuous flow yung kanilang benta kasi nga, ang ganda ng relationship.
Before it was a luxury, but actually for me back then it wasn't a luxury kasi it's a necessity kasi I live too far from the properties that I'm selling. But now that we are all forced down in our house, na lockdown tayo, it suddenly becomes a necessity, you know. And then so yun, yung advantage ng virtual tour is it provides transparency to your customers as opposed to photo lang, no. Mahirap dayain ng yung 360 photo eh. And then yun, it makes you stand out, it increases your batting average. You need a DSLR camera with wide-angle lens or 360 camera or imaging scanner, and then a DSLR panel head for your DSLR or photo stitching software, and Adobe Photoshop for post-production work like color correction, etc. And yun, panorama viewer. Nowadays, it's more important than ever. Back then, I was using it primarily because I live too far from the projects that I'm selling. But now, it was very helpful for me to give my customer an entire experience, no? Parang side by side. Parang ito, ngayong katulad nitong ginagawa natin ngayon, this is exactly what we do when we do a virtual viewing for our clients, no? Aside from the virtual tour that we have, nasa tabi rin nila ako as a narrator as I go through the different part of the property. So hindi lang sila yung they are, navigating on their own, but I'm actually walking with them virtually. Naglalakad kami na, sir, this is the lobby. So as you can see, the lobby is, it's really nice, it's really cozy, and they have that, you explain a lot of things. And then you walk them through, lakad kayo, and you get to highlight as if they are there. And what's best is that you are beside them, no? You are narrating. You're narrating to them what they are seeing. Seeing the virtual tour is not enough kasi your narration adds to the insights, no? To the things that they are seeing. Kasi nga, you are the subject matter expert of this property, this community. So you really need to show them the benefits that they will be getting from this property. So as a good salesperson, of course, hindi ka lang dada ng dada, salita ng salita, no? But you are there to really parang listen to them and highlight the benefits of this property, no, that can solve their problem, and also be a good listener then, no, while you're walking them through a virtual tour. Hindi lang yung parang minsan sobrang immersed ka na ikaw lang salita ka lang ng salita, but you have to listen to them while you're walking them through the virtual tour. So this thing, what we usually do is we start to tour them to the amenity area, yung mga common spaces. We tour them around the common spaces. Pinapakita namin yung advantage niya over other condominiums in the area. And by the way, it's really hard to beat DMCI, no, in terms of yung mga condominium developments nila in terms of value and money. So I get to showcase to them the place, describe it to them in full detail. And after I've shown them the common areas, kasi you know what? Parang nowadays hindi na sufficient yung parang video call lang sa Facebook or sa Viber. You need to have the ability to share your screen and do this kind of thing. So after I show them around yung common area, that's the time naman na we dive into the specific unit. So let me just share to you a sample virtual tour ng specific unit na. So after I tour them around from common area, ito naman yung parang we get inside the unit. So this is how it looks like lang. You'll be able to showcase to them the property. Then it has a floor plan view. So parang mapapakita mo sa kanila yung buong layout ng property, living area, etc. And then another thing pa is you can do measurements. Para pag may tanong sila, gaano ba kalawak to, you can, on the spot, you can make actual measurements. So alam na natin on the spot kung magkakasya yung paborito nilang refrigerator or oven or whatever. But the most important part is being able to walk inside the property like this. So recently lang, no, meron akong prospect who lives in Flair, and since familiar na siya sa Flair, alam na niya yung community, all I did was share to them the virtual tour, and it's something na once the lockdown is lifted, it's something na we will be working on. So yeah, you get around here the community, so yun, same thing as what we did. Showing them around sa common area, you can showcase the place. And lastly, here's another thing, no? Like for example, you are selling a township, you can actually give them an aerial view of the entire, let's say, Lancaster community or the entire Acacia Estates, and then dive in to, walk them through. Actually, inside the virtual tour, you can also embed music or sound of the waves, or you can embed media inside the virtual tour. Like for this one, it will show up the images, or pag click mo siya in the hotspot, a video can appear, like there's a pop-up here, like a YouTube video of you explaining the property. So it's a 24/7 marketing collateral, no, that can help us with moving forward with our selling activities.